Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back for another dose of nightmare fuel. Today we're going to see what is lurking in the dark for us beneath the trap door. The Trap Door was a claymation-style kids' TV series which ran between 1986 and 1990 for a lovely round 40 episodes. And I have to say, the theme song to this is badass. Yeah, that's it. Crank up that bass. What a fucking banger. But theme song aside, we can clearly already see right from the intro that the Trapdoor draws heavy influence from the horror genre. I mean, the Vincent Price, Boris Karloff parody narration to kick off every episode is one thing, but the visuals are a different thing entirely. We begin hiding in the shrubs of a dark forest, a castle surrounded with cracking lightning in the distance and eyes popping out from the undergrowth. We zoom towards the castle and are introduced to the show's main character, Burke, a blue monster who we are told is the servant of the thing upstairs, demanding to be fed. But then there's downstairs beneath the trapdoor, containing all kinds of horrors just waiting to come out. Right away, Burke is snookered. He's got an evil, angry, hungry, unseen monster on the floor above him and an unknown collection of even more evil, angry, hungry, unseen monsters beneath the trapdoor. We can already tell that Burke is gonna have his hands full, and so he relies on help from some other monsters in the castle, such as a human skull named Boney and a large spider named Drut. Even though it's a main recurring character, we never properly get a clear look at the thing upstairs. In episode 14, we get a very quick glimpse of its tentacles, and we are told that it has 3 eyes. In the previous episode, it's implied that the thing upstairs has more than one head, and when Burke pulls out one of its teeth due to a toothache, it's almost as big as Burke's whole body. And throughout the show, we get other hints of its abilities, such as being able to still see through one of its detached eyes, that it has 3 humps on its back, and that it has wings. The fact we never properly see the thing upstairs makes it all the more scary, but the parts we do see and hear about make our imaginations go wild. And it really doesn't sound like a pleasant creature at all. Kids must have been terrified trying to imagine what the thing upstairs looked like and what body encompassed that horrible rage-fueled voice.
Feed me!
But we are only just getting started. There's the terrors beneath the trapdoor to still discuss. The trapdoor area is kinda like the central hub where Burke, Boney and Drut reside so they can keep a close eye on it, and a lot of episodes involve monsters climbing out of the trapdoor and exploring the castle, some being a little friendlier than others, some being a bit more fearsome, but also there are times where our main characters themselves end up beneath the trapdoor and we get a much better look at what's going on there. In one episode, the door opens and a huge black hand grabs Boney and pulls him beneath the trapdoor, and so Burke has to jump down and try and rescue him. We find an enormous cavern, tentacles wriggling in the darkness, monsters lurking in the shadows. Things jump out at Burke and scare him. All these things just start forming and frightening Burke while Boney shouts for help, and the music intensifies. But it turns out Burke must have had a dose of nightmare fuel of his own, as everything was a bad dream. Nevertheless, these visuals and the atmosphere would have absolutely messed with a young kid's mind, which were of course the target audience here. The castle is a haunting place to spend time, and even though the Burke character and the show's dialogue lean more on the comedic side, the horror tones are prominent and the most memorable aspect. You have to give the animators credit for coming up with so many imaginative monsters. They all have something different about them that makes every episode fun, but also unpredictable. It's remarkable just how many monsters are inside this castle, and kids definitely would have been terrified at the thought of falling down the trapdoor themselves. Then there's the claymation factor. I'm a huge fan of claymation, and it's my favourite animation style, along with rubber hose, but since we have the horror factor here, when monsters change and grow and move, it gives me vibes of the claymation climax of The Evil Dead, especially with the monsters and the deadites making similar voice modulated sounds. One of the show's co-creators, Terry Brain, great name that, went on to work on every Wallace and Gromit film for Aardman, as well as Chicken Run and their series Creature Comforts and Gogs. So the pedigree of the animators is clear here, and overall the style of not only the monsters but the castle are creative and colourful, but also dark and dingy. In the wake of YouTube, the trapdoor has gained even more of a cult following, with several big creators shining a spotlight on its bizarre nature and disjointed tone, as well as its striking visuals and spooky vibes. The show even spawned 2 video games, The Trapdoor and Through the Trapdoor, for several consoles including the Commodore 64 and the ZX Spectrum, and it gained a new lease of popularity during reruns on Channel 4 across the late 90s and early 2000s, which is where I first became aware of it. But wherever you first encountered the trapdoor, even if it's this video, then unspeakable terrors will always be waiting for you, and I'll let you guess where. What do you lot reckon though? Is the trapdoor a great funny kid series or an unsettling horror kid series? Or perhaps a bit of both? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to make sure the trapdoor remains sealed, clicking that subscribe button will help keep the clay monsters at bay. Well, it'd do a better job than bloody Burke, that's for certain. Anyway, I'm Connor from Unleash the Ghouls, and until next time, good night and sweet nightmare-fueled dreams.